Hello, I'm John Proxy. Welcome to the proximity. I'm having the Disco Elysium adventure, and I think I'll do it. No, I'm right here right now.
Good. What can I help you with?
I can ask Kim to step away. Kim trusts me, and my volition is too. It's not amazing, my volition, and I'm pretty sure it's as full as it can be. Nope, I've not put anything on volition. What am I talking about? Cool. Let's ask Kim to step away while we discuss the pail. Kim, can I talk to the man alone for a second? Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene. Fine. He steps away with his notes. See him. What can he do? You're a grown man. Now, what is the pail? Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant. Yes. What is the pail? Okay, she concedes. The pail is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. A separate tissue between the isolars. It is the inter-isolary mass. Wait, and what is an isolar? Isolar is a Messenian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation or landmass? We used to believe there was only one, but the last 4 centuries we've discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Lilmara, Graad, Katla, and this, the Insulindae. And the Insulindae is an oceanic isolar. It comprises mostly of water. Mundi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Ensulidae the bluest. What can I say? She stops. Each is perishing and dear. Okay, what is the pale like? Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. The negation of being. The negation of... That's right, the negation of being. She tightens a hood around her neck. It's cold outside. If we're surrounded by the pale, how do we get from isola to isola? Oh, it is. Her lungs deflate. Words sound like a sigh. So difficult for us. A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbour, firm, self-evident. It is possible to force the dimensions on the pale. In modern times we can compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged. The pale can damage the mind. Extensively. How? Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation, others that the pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history, even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past. Who says and who argues? The logical positives say, the dialectical materialists argue. What does this over-radiation feel like? It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travellers to 6 days of pale exposure per year. It's more for her. Way more. You're not a civilian passenger. No, nameless detective of Citizens Militia. I am a member of the entrepreneuric business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually. Are you over-radiated? Up to my gills, officer. Is it here? No, detective, we're safe. She points to the sea. It begins there. 6,000 kilometres to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You're in the middle of the isola. And point north. There? An uproar of matter, darling, rising into the pale, rolling, evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called the porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapour, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, mould that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's... She closes her eyes and breathes out heavily. The most disco thing you will ever see. What are its physical qualities? It's difficult to describe. or even measure. Something whose fundamental properties is the suspension of properties, physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into the pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the numbers barrier. It may be impossible. What is entroponetic? Entroponetic, she corrects. Entroponetics, she corrects, is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it. By way of Gorard, the study of pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians call it the Western Plain. They had not travelled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian superisolar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them. Did they cross it, the Western Plain? There are signs of preter-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not on just technical know-how, but extensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. What has entroponetics changed then? Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed in which the aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Aerostatic craft? Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion suspended. Once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale, in essence, we throw them in and they come out at the other end, if we throw them precisely. If we do not, then they don't. Gone, like skipping a stone beneath the surface. How much Pale is there compared to the world? The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. Slipping how? To our detriment, or... What do you think, detective? She looks you in the eye. Shrinking. It's growing. There is more and more of the Pale. Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it's expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything, but that sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen. Most people, and indeed most private government, sector organisations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same. It doesn't look like you are doing the same. The suggestion was meant in earnest, detective. Live life. Let's return to reality, please. Conclude. Yes, sweet reality. She stomps her foot. But before we do, tell me, detective. Is this the first time you hear this? Do you really not remember anything? I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no, I didn't know this. Beyond curious, tell me, what do you think of the Pale? Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. It will end all life. Her eyes tense. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face. You really didn't know this. This does not spell good for the investigation, detective. If you don't know this, then... She stops mid-sentence. I'll handle it. It's under control. I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile... Talk to Joyce about the Pale Black Kim. You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. She gives you a slight bow. Good. Lieutenant returns. We've not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now? That was fucking insane, Kim. Yes, well, he thinks. The rest of us has dealt with it for thousands of years, so looks around, a little uncomfortable now. You'll have to deal with it too, Lieutenant thinks. This is why he didn't want you to know. Some more reality lowdown before we go. Happy to oblige. Okay, no, that's everything. Okay, tell me about this alleged trafficking. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle new ingredients from the Samaran Isola to Revachol with the Union's blessing, while Pines has suspected it for years. Ingredients for what, ma'am? Meth, and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal. Yes, after they clear the terminal we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here. While Pine seems to be well appraised at the local drug trade, ma'am, do you say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean. We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no, as far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. We transport the ingredients for a cut. And you want us to investigate? Yes, but you won't get anything out of Everard and the dock workers' union. Still, she raises her bony finger. Every chain has its weak link. The handoff, the motor lorries and the roundabout. The lorries. Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour onto the city. Once they reach Jamrock... Oh god, I shouldn't have called that guy a racist. Once they reach Jamrock, they distribute it to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable. How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at a roundabout. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. It gives you a knowing look. Her irises are light green, like the River Esperance in the bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer. I'll be explicit. Find this driver, I'll share company secrets with you. Covering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them. It's no coincidence that the lorries are stranded like that, is it? No, we asked East Motor Tracks to raise the drawbridge. Oh no, I've just lowered the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of our subsidiaries. However, she pauses looking into the sea. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge. The operation will continue. It looks north. Tens of thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour to the streets of Revachol. Not the east, across the river, but the west, the vulnerable and weary. Well, at least that solves one mystery. What is that, Lieutenant? Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I wondered since I first drove in on my motor carriage. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier? We did, on more than one occasion. Apparently there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under. We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's been come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence. Well, she smiles and points towards the roundabout. Here's your chance, officers. What proof do you have that the Union's involved? How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight. There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it. With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of the few registers cannot provide 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs? Precisely. Smuggled out of the very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto the lorries driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you. It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in. let's discuss something else for now. By the way, I've talked to Everett Clare. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful and just. I swear I did this. And how did you like Mr. Clare? I didn't. Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would you have stayed in power all these years? Oh, wait, actually, she answers her own question. Corruption, that's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption reaching into the bowels of the earth. She looks at the ground and nods. The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand the RCM does not pick sides. Of course, and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I am not a corrupt worm myself. She turns to you. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear the other person's take? It's only natural. We'd only be, she smiles, gossiping. Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Tell her she'll like you for it. What? I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht. Did you now? She's intrigued, if a little confused. What sort of borscht is he making? The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk. It helps them strike. Strike brew, she nods. It's a classic. By turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it. No, you misunderstand. I turn the knob like this. Turn the heat down. Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down for the sake of our professional relationship. And because I don't like the idea of them being more drunk than they already are. She nods. What else? I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind. Of course, Detective. She simmers down. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to stop in for a chat. Till then, is there anything I can help you with? So for now. So I'm not officially taking on her case yet because I want to research things myself. But yes, let's try and talk to that guy who knows me. Possibly a relative or a rival. Or am I just being dumb by not immediately accepting it? Who are you? You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. A good one. Point at the book. She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Who are you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's a working class woman, why isn't she working? Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Phenomenal.
Please.
I'm a policeman. Do you need the help of a policeman? She tries to focus on the book stand. Maybe your husband is missing. My husband? No, he's not. So where could he be? I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with friends? Working? Where is this going, officer? So what I'm hearing is, you don't really know where your husband is. Yes, but... She looks around and takes a deep breath, a little annoyed. I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time. Would you like to? No. She looks at you straight in the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband. Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband. Gotta be something else then. Why else would you be asking her if it wasn't? Maybe your children are missing. No, absolutely not. Okay, so where are they? Her words come out quick as gunshots. Where are they? Are you a policeman or a nanny? She's definitely disturbed by now. I police or whatever I want. Where are they? They're not missing, sir. You know where they are. They're at home. Smoking! Give the ladder of vices a chance. No, they're at a disco, getting down, stupid disco dancing teenagers. I know where they are. At the disco, dancing nasty. What? That's just my daughters. My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything. Maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't missing after all. Tell me something else. Maybe your cockatoo is missing. I don't mean to disrespect, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here. For what it's worth, I agree, but cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge them at this point. What do you mean I'm being a cockatoo? Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore. Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your herald bird? Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for the tip. Wonderful. The store is open. Want to browse books? Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained in yellow. It seems she has been spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Never comrade. Years of labour pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind. Give her a hug! You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray in touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands. As you shut your eyes, a tiny voice breaks out and asks, "What is happening?" She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric feels cold, moist from the sea nearby. Let's let go. She steps back and returns her attention to the books, pretending this hug didn't happen. That's all for now. I'll let you read. The woman before you nods and returns to her reading. That was kind of odd. We will get our herald bird later.
Again, I can't believe this shit.
He shakes his head, looking like he really is having trouble believing this shit. Okay, it's Peter Cork challenging. You know each other. It's like you two know each other. What? You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him. Tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere? Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere. Another life? From where? From another life? Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... He pauses. To what station do you think would really belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality? The 57th? I think even in this fictional reality, the 57th would be my station. Lieutenant makes a little nod towards the man with sunglasses. My condolences. The man with the sunglasses replies dryly. 41st. Okay. The man with sounds genuinely excited. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're getting somewhere. He gives you long, meaningful look and adds, somewhere good. Let's talk more about that hypothetical Station 41 you mentioned. Oh, the hypothetical 4-1. Yeah, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy. You're not busy. Let's just play around. So what would our relationship be in this alternate universe? Let's be crazy. Let's see you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to have you as my partner. Would you now? Would I be cramping your style? The man bites his lip, then waves his hand. Never mind, partner. I'm not sure which one to do. Actually, I shouldn't have called you my partner. Kim's my partner. He's going to know. I'm not your partner, he says quickly. This union is temporary. Little premonition for you, Lieutenant. He turns to Kim. Sooner or later, probably sooner, your new friend tells you he doesn't need you. He will then suggest you should fuck off. When that happens, I suggest you take his advice, he adds bitterly. Lieutenant merely bows his head in response. Partners in crime or... No! He exclaims excitedly. Because in this thought experiment, we are police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes, we're not crime bros. Come on, stop it, she says quietly. Okay, so it's my partner. No, you wouldn't cramp my style at all. Okay, how about you stop wasting my time and get on with whatever you're doing then? Do you have a crime to solve? Oh no, no, no. You see, I enjoy watching other, better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work. This isn't helping, she says, shaking her head and looking at the man with sunglasses disapprovingly. Who else are in our imaginary police station? You're not going to believe this, but... The man pauses for dramatic effect. Police officers! Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and, get this, and not getting their drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing especially extravagant like you, the far-out song of Lung. Who is the far-out song of Lung? Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. He winks at you sarcastically. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Want to tell me more about him or her? Not even a little bit. It's an urban myth, Lieutenant says quietly, about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You're not the son of Lung. Oh yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that. I can't imagine it anymore, conclude. Neither can I, partner. Neither can I. His grey eyes suddenly flash above the glass frames. They feel sad. Speed to corpse. Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical 41. Weird, right? No, this whole interaction was perfectly normal. I guess it was kind of weird, yes. There's something we're missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy and you'll probably get laughed at, but still. I was thinking the same thing. I should just ask him if we're from the same station. Yes, just to cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again, I can't believe this shit.
Look, I just have to ask, are we from the same police station? I'm going to say no, just to see what you'll say to that. What do you say? Yeah, probably not. I don't remember you from anywhere. God fucking shit. He pinches the root of his nose. Okay, I was clearly wrong. He's a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind, not a cop. Go on with your cop work and stop. Don't let me stop you again. Okay. He said okay, give it a rest. Okay, I was clearly... Oh. It's... Because he's clearly my ex-partner that I told to fuck off. Look, something is really bugging me. Are we or are we not from the same police station? God damn it, you leave her alone! The man with sunglasses snaps at you. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once. For fuck's sake! Can I actually help you with something? She looks at you apologetically. Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
I've listened to the tape. I'm going to confront Clajday with it. My boy, you go do that. Right, I forgot I had to do that, to be honest. Yeah, because they're not going to believe I've lost my entire memory. Why is that green screen not doing it properly? Probably because it's getting dark, John? I mean, yes, but now I look stupid. It's going to burn through the battery as well. But, it's the shadow of this chair, I'm pretty sure. Whatever.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Volition.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
I need to talk to you about your room again. Where does that door lead to? The door on the roof. I have no idea, officer. She looks at it calmly. Titus Hardy gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape. He puts down her coffee cup down. What? With a soft ring, the porcelain meets the metal table. Did he? A smile flits across his face. Never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me. Doesn't care. If anything, she sounds amused. On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target. Where did they get this recording exactly? It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via de-encryption station. It's authentic enough? He arches a brow. Does he say he's going to do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? Those are the exact words he used. Yeah, that was practically his pickup line. She picks the cup back up. A memory surfaces in her tired neocortex. It's not entirely unpleasant. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Lee Schmin style? Yes, the word whore was used. He liked the way it sounded when he said it, as Lee Schmin, the young woman, lights a cigarette, the butt of her old one. He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Lee Schmin. It was his everything. Why say things like that? Machismo? Yes, he was bragging. Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, and integrated them into his idea of normalcy to keep on living, till they just turned into his... She thinks. What's the word I'm looking for? She's quite observant about the human character, trained to observe even. Persona. Running joke. I was going to say running joke, and it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Laylee's punchlines got way funkier than that. It was like Semini's conflict, the Leishman massacre, the 36 feminine assault, all rolled into one person, and cast Orange's ceramic armor that she wore in bed and in the shower. And you spent time with this person romantically. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Leishman here. Did he tell you that he had actually done any of those things? Here in Martinez, I mean. No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outwards. He thinks. He seemed happy, I guess, at ease, as much as a man like him could be. There was a small measure of pride in her that she could quell the rage in such a being. What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask the details. She seems okay to talk about it. Thank you for clearing that up, miss. He turns to you. Whenever you're ready, I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now. She takes a small sip of her coffee and smiles. Let's talk about this so-called assault. Okay, no. Now that you've had some time, can you tell us more about the victim? Like, for example, his name. Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Laley. A nickname? I guess he is from Lelystad, short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use. Lelystad. That's a good start. The lieutenant writes down in his notebook and tears the page out and hands it to you. We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy can't answer alone. The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. It's on the list of autopsy observations, recorded neatly in blue ink. Everything left to be clarified is in the column on the left. Where is Lelystad? The place, I mean. In Orange, officer. Orange. I know that's pronounced wrong. It's, I think, a municipality is the term. A nowhere town. Yeah. The Lelystad municipality has a few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gotswald. Executive summary, cows, silo, and wheat. You are almost right, officer. Lieutenant shakes his head, like you've just missed a shot in darts. That means his race was Occidental, not Mondial. I'll update the form. You're both from Orange. Yes, we were compatriots. Did that bring you together? No, he was too old for that. From another part of Orange Reject. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Orange, it was bad habits. Sex, alcohol. No love for the mother Orange, but wasn't he a soldier? This could be worth pursuing. Military man, but not a patriot. No, he left the National Service after they taught him to do what he did on Summer 9. He wasn't the flag-waving kind. He was the making money killing people kind. He was by no means a stupid man. He takes a long drag of a cigarette and washes it down with coffee. A people person, small platoon leader, certainly not a patriot. You don't seem much like a patriot yourself. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. Mm-hmm. There was nothing on Monday. The old world is dead. We both knew it. Maybe Orange did bring us together. Loathing. How old was he, miss? He was 42. 42? Are you sure? I would have had him at above 50. He had many scars that made him appear older. But no. The memory makes us smile. We celebrated his birthday, like some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me. Looks like you were right, officer. Lieutenant taps on his notebook once, as though assigning some kind of point. Points are good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die. Better not to mention it. His eye colour? Blue, light blue. They were like... She stops, her eyes half closed, and continues, like little blue galaxies, you know. It was strange seeing those eyes and his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. She takes a drag. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak. He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth. Yes, severe. She seems to enjoy the word. It made him look like half his face was crackling away in some strange smile. That in those eyes. Oh yes. The lieutenant suddenly remembers. His hair. If you can remember. It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine. Made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone. He had a tattoo. What did it mean? Oh, she smiles. That. It's clear she liked it. You liked it? Quite a lot, yes. Was a map of his service history? Sure, service history. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. Showing off to chicks how so? How? She leans back. Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. Is this orange's lit? Is this orange's lit? Yes. This is the very essence of orange's lit. A moment's respite. Dark and hopeless as the struggle itself. He leans even further back to demonstrate. He's smoking and drinking, of course. On his chest and shoulders, the arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like... She points at the air with a sharp, nailed finger, picking out an imaginary tattoo star. What was this, baby? And he says... She lowers her voice comically. That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that. So she goes, okay, but what's this, baby? And he's like, saw some bad shit there. Killed some loincloths. And so it goes. Star after star. Port after port. Third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them. You were the woman in this? Oh yeah, she nods. Can you tell us precisely what these mean, under the photos? No, thank you. He does not take it. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them. She pours herself some coffee. Go on. He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor. The government of Orange needed some people killed. We turned him into a grotesque killer for money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people on the Seminine Islands. And on other islands too. All of the islands. After this he came to Revachol. Got killed himself. Good story. Thanks. It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. She smiles faintly. A change of topic? Could it be love that did him in? It very well could be, yes. What do you mean? What do I mean? She raises an eyebrow. I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean? He told me love did him in. That's not funny, officer. Her voice is like a slash through the air. Her shoulders tense up. Something miraculous is coming, he told me. The man next to you blinks. His expression does not change. Alright, let's see where this is going. From way out the northwest, he told me. Cool. The woman nods. We ordered a toxicology report. Any idea what it will show us? A real rainbow of splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. She grins. Barbiturates, amphetamines, sildenafil. How much does that toxicology report cost? The police of Revachol. I could do it for half of that. Save you the money. Make some myself. It's quite expensive, miss, but we'll manage without your help for now. I think we've finished this line of questioning. Hands the lieutenant back his notes. Right. The lieutenant puts the slip back into his notes, observes the young woman for a moment. Okay, let's try volition. Just like the last time, light brown eyes look back at you. All as it was. You feel cigarettes fume for her lips. She's just as beautiful. Don't worry. We'll protect you from her beauty. We'll consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through deceits. You're shielded. You're wise. You're advised. There are muscles on long white bones that line her limbs, just below the silver jumpsuit. Miss Orange, disco dancer. You want to put your hand on her back. Feel it arch. Avert your eyes. The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds. again. Soft, light brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you. What? You know these guys? Who, me? Yes, you. He's talking about you. Boring stuff. Boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I know? I'm merely a master thespian. These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust her for info, you can't trust them anymore. That's fantastic. Drama and logic don't work on her. Oh my god. Believe it. Which ones were affected? There's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume all of them. Bullshit, man. I ain't compromised. Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in here. No fucking way, man. I just want to drag her that sweet menthol Ziggy. Really? Quick, tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Glory, truth, softness, protect her, she wants you. I take it back. He's got a pretty bag, but the next guy is on another level entirely. Suggestion. She likes you. Crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is human nature. I loved it. I genuinely love this. I'm going to have to pause now because it's the end of the episode. And I wish I'd paused because that would have been a great start of the episode. Dang it. I'm going to let you go though. I've been John Foxy on Channel John of the West. No, I'm not on Channel John of the West. That's going to take so long for me to not say. We are now leaving the proximity. I don't know. I'm going to have to plan it. I've been having a Disco Elysium adventure. I've been John Proxy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.